Hello and welcome to the Robin Midgley Sims YouTube mentoring channel. This channel is dedicated to assisting hand therapists and surgeons understand the Sims technique and understand the clinical reasoning that takes place when making decisions with regards to which cast to apply and for how long, which cast exercises to perform, and when to progress a patient. The whole aim of the Sims technique is to reduce digital stiffness and restore a normal pattern of motion. In today's session, Kantessa Stewart, who is a certified hand therapist, presents a patient, Christy, who fell with a glass in her hand, lacerating in zone 6, FCR, as well as to the little finger, FDS, to the ring finger, FDS and FDP, and to the middle finger, FDS. And in addition, she lacerated her ulnar nerve, which resulted in a claw deformity. So we're going to demonstrate to you how Sims can correct a claw deformity simply through the correct positioning. And we're also going to show you how we can improve flexor tendon glide, and how we can not only restore a pattern of motion, but restore functional use in the hand. So you will see that this patient has a very confused pattern of motion, and the stiffness is preventing her from achieving a full fist, as well as the ulnar nerve is preventing her from achieving normal extension, and she's hyperextending into those joints. So we're going to show you how with the first cast design, we carefully position the MCP joints in order to achieve full extension of the PIP joint of the little finger and the ring finger, and how through that positioning, we facilitate flexor tendon glide. We will then show you how the cast is worn and what exercises are performed. In the coming weeks, we will then demonstrate how we changed the cast design to improve digital flexion. And following that, we will show you how we use other traditional techniques to achieve the final degrees of range of motion and functional use in her hand. We will be providing you with a lot of detail. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the content. Everybody, I'm here with Kantessa and her patient, Christy. Christy, thank you for letting us record this snippet for our fellow Sims students who are all learning the technique. We really appreciate you helping us out, because how you present is so important for learning. So thank you. So do you want to just show us how you open and close your hand quickly? We want to identify your movement pattern. So you can see that it's an intrinsic plus pattern, but the little finger and the ring finger are hardly coming into play. So there's no PIP and DIP joint motion of the little finger, and there's definitely no DIP joint motion of the ring finger, and only a little bit at the PIP joint. So Kantessa, we would like to decide what position we're going to put our MCP joints in. So the best thing to do is to simulate it first, and then we work it out. So if we place the MCP joints in neutral, and now, Chrissy, if you can open and close your fingers. Okay, so in neutral, we're starting to get some little finger PIP and DIP joint motion. Almost immediately, we're getting that. We're not getting anything at the DIP joint of the ring finger. Okay, so now can you straighten those fingers as much as you can? So we've got ulnar nerve damage, so we have that clawing. So if we now position those MCP joints at 20 degrees of flexion, and now we're going to fully flex and extend. Now we get full extension of the PIP and DIP joints, and we're getting excellent motion of the interflexion of the PIP and DIP joints of both the ring and the little finger. So that is your position. And then I would extend the wrist a little bit. So just try now, extend that wrist, that, and you're flexing those MCP joints, and now move for me. So the important thing is that we can achieve better nerve function with positioning. And it's amazing how we can get that nerve to start working. The next thing to decide is a hood. Now, the reason I would go for a hood with a patient like this is to try and get some DIP joint flexion so that you can pull away from the hood of the cast. Okay, so can you try and simulate a hood? Try and simulate a hood.
I might need like 3 more hands, huh?
Like
okay.
3 more hands. That's great. So
how far do you want the hood?
We want the MCP joints. Yes, we want the MCP joints flexed in 20 degrees.
1 moment. Okay, don't judge. Is that your DIP one? This may help, or you may tell me to throw it away, but this one. At least I can get your wrist back in here.
But okay, so you've got those MPs in neutral though.
Yes. Okay, but I'm going to push her forward.
We're going to simulate. Now, what I want you to do, just worry about the ring finger. Can you position the ring finger in some flexion? Right, Chrissy, what I want you to do is move away, all your fingers working together. I want to see if we get any active DIP joint flexion of the ring finger from that flex position.
It seems really to be about this, yeah, same angle.
Okay, now next thing to do is to bring it up and block it vertically. Now bend that ring finger. Okay, so what we are now going to do is you're going to make the cast, but then make a little splint, a gutter blocking splint that, Chrissy, you will wear 30% of the time. So 70% of the time you cannot wear it, or even other way around. Actually, initially, the first few days, let's get you into it 70% of the time to get active DIP joint flexion. So by combining the splint with the cast, we are now moving every joint in the direction we want it to move. You see how
wrist and extension, MPs and 20, and then what for the, like, what angle would you suggest for the PIPs? The only thing that I'm concerned about is she is so tight. Her extrinsics are so tight. I mean, we are working on this, but
that will come. Like, that will come, but we need those MCP joints in 20 degrees of flexion to get the range. Once we start getting the range and the tendons moving, the rest will come. So all you'll do is a separate blocking splint, which can be applied. When you make that, sometimes it's good to make it so that there's like a little block into the MP joint as well, you know, something that can slide down so it's fully supporting, and we can get that joint to move. And so what we're doing is we're breaking it down into little baby steps, into little components that are working individually, but then ultimately will all work together. Does that make sense, Kantessa?
Mm-hmm. Do you have a suggested angle on the amount of flexion in your dorsal hood for her? So, this is about where she's at actively.
So we're not going to do a dorsal hood because it didn't make a difference. When we simulate it,
just the volar block.
We're just going to add a block, and for 30% of the day, we're going to strengthen that FDP tendon.
Okay, so an MCP blocking splint with the wrist and extension, MPs and 20, and a volar splint for the DIP.
Yeah, so we're calling it an intrinsic minus. It is an intrinsic minus cast, and what's nice is from we're going to get a nice stretch, but we have to, at this point, position those MCPs in flexion because of the ulnar nerve and the clawing.
Okay. Got it. Now, what is your suggested wear schedule on that? Because she's going to Florida in a week.
So you have to have a circumferential cast for sure, because we need to include the wrist. How long are you in Florida for? So I would cast you for 2 to 3 weeks anyway in the circumferential cast with that little blocking splint that you'll take on and off to regain what we need to with the tendons and the joints. So when you come back, it's perfect to remove it. I know it's a little inconvenient, I know, but I promise you it will be worth it. Okay. Great. Okay, can you bend your little finger more? Yeah. Okay. And all the fingers together, bend your index, bend your ring, all of them together. Okay, so that ring finger. That's why you
this one doesn't bend either at the IP.
So,
not there.
So that's why you need to spend 70% of the time in a blocking splint getting that FTP tendon to pull through.
So I need to put I'm going to put the middle finger in it too. Can you bend both of those now? When she comes forward, I don't know if I was trying to figure this out because her movement pattern is so unique. If it's like a tight lumbrical, but can you curl the tips? She can bend the tip here, but as soon as she flexes this forward, it just goes into complete extension.
Good idea. Let's get those FTP strong.
Okay, I think I need to get the bottom. This all happened at her Christmas party for work.
Oh, it's so long ago now.
Yes.
It's a Christmas party that doesn't want to go away.
Yes.
Her scar, she's really a good scar layer downer. That's good English.
Healer.
There we go.
Yeah, you healed really well. And it has gotten more pliable, but I like the flexor tendon thoughts that you guys have. Those, I got a new zone 2 this week. And so far she is spot on where we need to be, but I'm going to watch her like a hawk. And I have Jen's protocol on my phone.
Yeah.
And your protocol, but the wrist is in it, but we have good DIP movement. I mean, she's probably got like 10, 15 degrees when she's moving. Different patients, sorry, but I need to get them moving sooner.
Good.
And I need to talk to the doctors and convince them that's okay if they're not moving. Yeah, we got to rock now. Okay, so try straightening them out. Okay, good. And then try bending them down.
So you've got immediately great posture. Okay, that ring finger, that's as far as it can go. So you can measure the centimeters from the pulp to the cast and then take lots of videos so we can see if that improves at the PIP joint. It just needs time, Christy. It just needs lots of time of moving, constant cyclical repetitive motion and the blocking splints to get the FTP strong. And
when you do a blocking splint, like I can make it out of thermoplast and just make it volar. I probably will do a clamshell. I think she might get better purchase if I clamshell it.
Yeah, just and like tuck it into the cast. And then we'll take it off when you're back from Florida, and then we'll have a look at your movement. And what we're aiming to do is to get those MCP joints straight so we can go to 10 degrees, you know, and just because we really are wanting that hook first. And you'll see. It will come right. Okay.
Thank you.